So it has taken me a very long time to be able to record this video for you guys. My God, I've been having a lot of trouble trying to find a time alone where I could do this and also just have the energy to be able to put out a video. This is going to be an important video, an important vlog, and it's going to be probably the last vlog of my channel for a very decent amount of time, alright? And by decent, I mean maybe a month, maybe a little bit more, alright? And there's going to be two things I'm going to be talking about in this video, alright? The first of which is E3 2017, the content regarding that. And then I'm also going to discuss my personal life and how basically that is affecting YouTube and why I'm going to be going on this hiatus for a long time. It is intentional, but it's also a positive thing in the end. It's just that I have to like sort of reset my priorities in terms of like what I'm going after, and this is how it's going to affect YouTube in that way. Alright, but before we get to that, I want to start off with the E3 2017 content and let you know I recorded for you guys and covered for you guys in the event. So you all know E3 2017 was this last week actually, and I did go to the event along with most of the press conferences. I had a very good time. You know, it was a lot of fun going to the conferences. I would have to say that this year was overall less successful than last year was. And this year was also the first year that we had it open to the public, E3 2017, where people could actually go and buy tickets, or I should say people can go buy tickets at an affordable amount. You know, but before you could always buy tickets to E3, but they were like $700. After the end of April, they went up to $1,000. It was just like, it wasn't feasible, you know? And as much as I like going to E3, $700 for 3 days, no, you know, it just doesn't make sense. So this year they actually had the price down to $250, which was a pretty affordable amount considering what it was before and what you got to experience, and being that it is the most popular and just primarily the main events regarding video games, the biggest event regarding video games that they have every single year. So it was my second year going to E3, and the first year that they opened it to the public, and they had 15,000 tickets available for people to purchase. And it really shows. It was extremely crowded. It was almost unbearable at times. It was a really big mess. That's the best way to describe this E3. It was a big mess. You had a lot of people that were there for like the first time. You got a lot of people who didn't know what was going on, who were kind of wandering around without a plan, and you got a lot of people there who were just happy to be there, like they were excited, but they didn't really, you know, you could tell they don't really care about the majority of stuff that is there. That was one of the things that always was going to annoy me at this E3, was I knew that them opening it to the public, you're going to have all these little kids, well, not little kids because you have to be at least 17 years old or older to get into the event, but you're going to have all these like people who don't really care about games in the capacity that you or I may do, but they just want to go there to just have fun and just play their favorite game early. And of course there are going to be those people there, just taking up space and getting in lines over and over and over again just to play the newest Call of Duty or the newest Destiny, so on and so forth. So that was like my main gripe with this year's E3, is it's nice that you allow people to purchase tickets, but at the same time it sucks that the people who don't really care about games that much, to be honest, who don't care about the industry, who don't care about new experiences, who just play a first-person shooter once or twice a year and then that's their video games, they're more casual. It sucks that they were able to go to the event and more or less they're uncoordinated, without a plan, and just, you know, holding up the lines and whatnot. Last year I got to experience everything that I wanted to experience, mostly. And with the exception of one or two things, I think Resident Evil 7 VR I didn't really get to get into, and there was one more game that eludes me. But mostly it was like 99%, you know, success rate last year. This year it was a lot tougher, mainly because I got to play a decent amount of games, but the lines were so long and the crowds were so compact. It was hard to move around. It was hard to play anything that you really wanted to play. And it just overall made for a very frustrating event because, again, a lot of people were going there for the first time and didn't know what the hell they were doing. Last year when I went, I set a plan up for myself. I knew exactly what I wanted to see on what specific days, and I followed that plan, and I got to see everything I really wanted to see pretty much. This year I did the same exact thing, and I was unable to see some of the stuff I really wanted to see due to the fact that lines were just like so full. We're talking full to the point where you get there at 10 a.m. when they open and they're booked for the rest of the day and they close at 6 p.m. Like, keep in mind, that's 8 hours. That's 8 hours. And they're really telling you, yeah, the line's booked for the rest of the day, sorry. And there are people standing there for 8 hours the whole day going to play their games. And it sucked. It really did suck. I was really frustrated that happened this year, and I didn't like that it was done in that manner. I wish that if they were going to open it to the public, if they're going to do it next year, and I said this when I filled out their survey, I said, if you're going to open it to the public next year, don't do 15,000 people, do 5,000 people, you know, do like 7,000 people. That was way too much. There were 70,000 people this year at E3. Normally there's around 55 to 60,000, but that extra 10 to 15,000 people, you could really feel that. It was hard to even get around, and I would have to say that this E3, although I had fun at certain moments, I was more frustrated than I was really enjoying myself because I wasn't able to get the work done that I really wanted to get done, and I wasn't able to record footage for you guys in the capacity that I really wanted to record it. So that being said, I really had around 6 or 7 videos for you guys in terms of games I played. And keep in mind there was around 15 plus that I actually wanted to play on my list. So it's not a good success rate, alright? So that's E3 2017. I will get it up as soon as possible. Now, why will I be getting it up as soon as possible, and what's with the big delay, that big hiatus that's coming? Let me explain. Last week on Wednesday, it was my 23rd birthday. It was also the second day of E3. So I was at E3 on my birthday, and afterwards Jake and I went to dinner at TGI Fridays. It was a nice birthday, very successful, right? But, you know, I was busy obviously that day. I realized that I am hitting this point in my life where it's not like an oh shit moment because, you know, I knew what was going on and I knew how much time I had left, but I'm hitting this moment in my life where I am really kicking myself, you know, like giving myself the boot to kind of get things going in gear. And what I mean by that is, you know, obviously starting my own life and moving out and just really getting situated with a job/career. Now, I have said this publicly before, but I've always wanted to do game development as a career, and more specifically the story side of things and directing it. I have a bunch of creative ideas in my head that are extremely innovative towards, you know, specific genres, and then they all kind of lead up. They're kind of like a building block leading up to an ultimate game that really strives to put a different type of story in the video game that's never been told before. You know, I was never the person that believed that stories are exclusive to their medium. Like, just because a movie has a story about this subject doesn't mean a game can't tackle that same subject. It just has to be done in a different manner. So there's always this sort of goal in me to try and not change the industry, but give people a different perspective on what games can be, and also motivate developers and creators alike that it's okay to take more risk, and it's okay to tell stories that are very weird or very different from the norm, but have an important purpose behind it. And so this has been my goal, to try and, you know, do this. And it's been a goal of mine since I was a teenager, to try and get into the gaming industry and really try to make strides to get in there and do something extraordinary. But you know, it's hard breaking into the industry, mainly because a lot of game companies want people who are already skilled or already have experience and also are not currently going to school for that. And so I've discussed with many people in the industry, in fact, just getting into the gaming industry. I actually spoke with a hiring agent over at Naughty Dog, or used to be over at Naughty Dog, and now works for a agency that just helps people get into video games. And he gave me a lot of pointers and a lot of good perspectives and just things to take a look at and learn and to really tackle. And basically what he was telling me and what everyone else was telling me is the easiest way to get into the gaming industry is to make something small. Doesn't have to be stupid or just short, just to make something. Present it as work in your portfolio and send it to your game studio. And if once they see that, okay, this is someone who wants to make something, or wants to, who really does want to do something, and he's experienced and he's made this, they're a lot more forgiving when it comes to like your resume and how long you worked at a studio, and most of the time they'll just let you write in because you have something to offer. And so the problem is I don't have a passion for coding. My passion is storytelling. I don't really want to learn how to code. I don't really want to, do the conceptual art. I just want to write interesting stories and then direct games in the direction that story is supposed to emulate for a video game. But it's not really done like that. In fact, games are made first. A vision for a game is brought forward first, and then the story is sort of injected between those elements in the game, if that makes sense. From what I've learned, it's not like someone writes a story and then someone makes a game based off that story. It's actually that the game is made, the concept for the game is made, and then the story gets woven into the experience. It's sort of done very differently than it is from films and any other medium in that manner. People make the game first and then add the story second. So it's interesting. Bottom line to me telling you guys this is that that was like my main goal, to do that. But I don't have the capacity to focus on that at the moment. I'm still finishing up school. In fact, I have like a year or two left at the most to actually finish up school and get my bachelor's degree. And at the same time, I can't sit around and just, learn to make a game, then make a game. I have other responsibilities, and I at least need a somewhat viable career path in order to get my foot in the door, at least get something. Because the most important thing for me right now, more so than me getting into the gaming industry, is me just being able to at least live the life that I want to live a fulfilling, happy, and purposeful life. So that being said, I actually have found a new job. It has nothing to do with game development. It has a lot to do with internet marketing. More specifically, it's e-commerce. And it's something that I've actually grown interested in over the course of the past year and a half, is SEO and e-commerce and all that kind of stuff. If you guys don't know what that is, basically it's internet marketing. A lot of it is websites and sales and just stuff like that. You can read more into detail about it. There's plenty of people on the internet who can show you how to do it. It's fairly easy to get into, and what's nice is that you don't have to be a genius at anything to really get into it. It's great because the internet is so lucrative, especially right now, because it's still young. As vast as the internet is, it's still in its infancies. And there's a lot of things that are being created every single day. There's a lot of new tricks that people are learning every single day. And it's a very lucrative element. I mean, you don't even have to be an adult, to essentially do what I'm doing. You could do this at home and you could make really, really good money doing it. So it's something that I've sort of grown interested in, and I've tackled somewhat on my own just to sort of test it out. But I've actually have now a possible career choice in doing this, and it's a new job that I'm very excited for. It's going to get me out of my retail job, which I was doing for a year this month so far, and I've already quit that job, and I'm actually going to be starting this new job next month in July. And so with that being said, you might have noticed behind me, this shelf is empty now. And what I've been doing this past week is been moving all my stuff over to the other house. You know, I've lived here in San Fernando Valley, which is, you know, a little bit further than Los Angeles, but still considered a Los Angeles County. I've been living in LA for the vast majority of my life, and my parents are divorced, and my mom lives over in Orange County, which is around 90 miles away from where I am right now. And it's a big change, you know. I'm moving over there because it's the right thing to do. It's the best thing for me to do right now in my life, is to move over there to start this new career path, you know, possibly, but just to have a job that's where I have a lot more responsibility, where I'm going to be learning stuff that is invaluable, and things that I can actually take to apply to a better, fulfilling life. Like, this is still something let's say I get into game development and I'm making games, this is still something I can do on the side. And I could be making a lot more money doing this on the side, possibly, than even doing game development. So it's the right path for me to take. And my personal goal was always to move out no later than I was like 25, 20, like before I hit 26. You know, that was like my personal goal. Like 25, before you hit 26, that's the most I would ever want to stay here at my parents' place. And a lot of people don't have that luxury, unfortunately. A lot of people, especially that I know personally, including my parents themselves, were just kicked out of their house and expected to perform and take care of themselves. And there is, you learn the hard way about responsibility in life, and it really gives you a valuable perspective on things about trust and value, friendship, responsibility. And I don't really have, I can't relate to that, you know, but I at least have these own, I guess you could say, standards for myself to try and live the life that I want to see fit, you know. I just move out into a crappy apartment and live with 4 other friends, whatever, you know. The problem is people suck. And a lot of people, especially my age, in these days particularly, are very irresponsible. And they don't clean up after themselves, they throw shit everywhere, and they like to party all night. And I was never that type of person. I was always the type of person that grew up sort of faster than the people around me in terms of like friends and stuff. I never really liked going to parties. I never really liked just hanging out late at night. Even today, you know, I have people that, you know, friends that like to go out drinking every now and then. I just don't care to do it, you know. I don't drink, first of all, but it's not something that appeals to me to want to go out and do that, especially when it's like 1 in the morning. It's like, no, you know, I got stuff to take care of, and I don't want to get home at 4 a.m. and then sleep for the whole rest of the day. I just don't want to live my life like that. You know, I have more responsibility and respect for myself personally, that I don't want to just I don't want to just sit here and pretend like this is the time of my life where I have no responsibilities and nothing's expected of me and I can just do whatever. And because of that, it's enabling me rather to really strive, I think, and pull ahead in terms of progress and getting a career and getting my life started. In fact, of all the people I know, besides maybe 1 or 2, no one's really at that position yet, and they're around my age, and that's really scary. You know, like I sit here and I see myself as 23 years old, and it's very frightening to know that I'm still in the exact same position I was 3 years ago, and that's not okay. It's not okay for me, and I hate myself for sitting there and letting myself remain the same for that long, even longer. I need to go out and I need to do something. I need to go out and I need to have opportunities and a career, not a job, a career at least in something, and just do something that would enable me to at least get out of the position that I'm in, you know. And that's really, it's that fire that burns inside me that's really propelling me to go in this direction. I'm not lying to anybody right now. I'm very nervous, and I'm very scared about the future, and I'm very uncertain about how things will come about. But at the same time, I'm more scared. I'm more unsure, more frightened, I should say. I'm more, I guess I'm just overall more afraid of what would happen if I didn't do anything. You know, and that's always something to think about, is a lot of people are scared to go out directly for change, right? Don't be scared to go out for change. Be scared of what will happen if you don't go out for change. And that change in perspective is what really will enable you to go out and just take that first step. And I'm still at that point where I'm afraid to dip my toes, you know, in the ocean. I've been so used to the lake, you know, but there's a point in your life where you just gotta close your eyes and just say fuck it and jump in, you know. And I just sort of have hit that point in my life where I am afraid now, because I'm 23 years old, not getting any younger, and time moves fast. It's so true. The older you get, the faster time moves. And I can remember when I first turned 18, I'm like, oh yes, I'm out of high school, woo! And now I'm like sitting here, I'm like, oh shit, I'm almost out of college. What now? So that's sort of where I'm at in this moment. Bottom line is I'm moving to the other house, and there's a lot of stuff over. Nothing's really set up over there, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on to the point where I am gonna have to take a while to set everything up and to be able to do videos again. Obviously, I'll still have my phone, I'll still have my computer set up, but I have to like really situate things and set things up accordingly so I can do videos in the future. I gotta set up the internet over at the other house is decent, but it's not optimal. I gotta take care of a lot of stuff before I'm able to come back here at YouTube 100%. And I still want to do videos in the capacity, in a somewhat decent capacity, you know. But if I skip a week or 2 or 3 even without uploading a video, I'm just simply setting things up. And I know that I don't have a responsibility. It's not like I have a responsibility to upload for you guys, because this isn't my job. You know, I get paid for doing this, but it's negligible in terms of the amount. And it's not my job, and it's not my responsibility. And I don't look at it as my responsibility to try and upload as many videos. It's something that I really enjoy doing from the heart, and something that I really love. But when it starts taking over priorities and getting in the way of things, it's time to push it off, say, I'll get to you later, and take care of what is really important first. So that's what's going on. That's what I wanted to really make this video and explain to you guys, because I know some of you guys were like, you know, you haven't live streamed in a while, you went to E3 but we saw no videos after, like what's the point of that? Well, this is why. I'm in the process of moving, starting a new job, getting my whole life situated in a different environment. Being in Orange County is a much different environment than being in LA, I'll tell you that. But it's an overall more positive, better environment for me, and I'm happy to move over there. And it's going to be hard being away from people I know and love here in this area, but it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make, and it's only temporary, you know? The way I see it is like 2 years of my life, if I really work at this job, I could really get my own life started and really get a place. And that's not that long when you think about it. You know, 2 years goes by like that. I was thinking that's when I turned 21. I remember that day. And I didn't do anything. I didn't go out drinking that day. I was at Wood Ranch with my family, and everyone made jokes about me getting alcohol, but I didn't, you know, I didn't have any I guess desire to want to go ahead and drink, you know. That's always been me, is I never drink and I never smoke. Never did any of that stuff, you know. Never even tried any of that stuff. So that's always been my personality, and well, I'm happy being who I am, and I don't really owe anyone an explanation for the way that I choose to live my own life. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for your support as always. I at least just wanted to get a video up and explain to you all who may not know what's going on, and just let you guys know that everything in the end, again, everything in the end, I expect everything to be like fully done in like a month or 2, to the point where I can actually start going back at this consistently. But everything in the end is just going to be a much more positive outcome. and it's gonna suck now, but give it time and it's gonna come back and be really awesome, and it's gonna be really exciting. So I am leaving this video with a smile on my face. I'm looking forward to getting back to work and moving and the big change and everything like that, and I hope that you guys have a awesome day as well. And let me know what you guys all think about everything that I said, what's going on. Also, let me know what you guys thought about E3. Like, what was your favorite thing to see? I don't really have a list of what I recorded, but I'll just tell you guys really quickly. I played Call of Duty World War II. I keep calling it World at War. Call of Duty World War II, Detroit Become Human. I played Assassin's Creed Origins, Far Cry 5, The Crew 2. I played Destiny 2. Yes, I did play that. There's a few others in there. Oh, Need for Speed Payback as well. So I got to play a decent amount of games, but again, it wasn't as much as I really wanted to cover for you guys, and for that I apologize, but there was so many people there. Alright, thank you guys so much, have a good one, and I will talk with you all when I can. I don't know when that will be, but I can. Follow me on Twitter if you care enough to know about what's really going on, because that's where I'm going to be more accessible, is Twitter. I can tweet and I can do quick videos on Twitter. So follow me on Twitter, you'll see a link in the description below. And until next time, signing off. Thanks, guys.